Hey everybody, it's LG Hamilton from We the People, America in Black and White. Well, I wish this could be a more entertaining video where I show you pictures of Nancy Pelosi and the latest Botox trends, or I wish I had the actual carbon emission levels of Al Gore's estate. But what happened in Washington, D.C. last night was not the least bit funny. Last night, 220 members of Congress broke their sworn oath to protect and uphold the Constitution. And although this may not qualify as treason, according to the Constitution, I suggest we charge these 220 public officials with treason since they wouldn't know the actual definition anyway. And if not treason, then we can at least agree to relieve all 220 of them from their service to this country. And in all 220 yes votes, none was about providing health care to millions of Americans, but was instead about switching the power from the hands of we the people to the hands of the federal government. You see, sadly, many people believe the Constitution is a document outlining our freedoms, but it is not. It is a document providing restrictions to the federal government. Now, I'm not going to go into a breakdown of the Constitution or this current healthcare bill, but I do want to point out that what's at stake here now is not partisan politics as usual. This didn't start in 2009 with Obama, but it is reaching a peak on our watch, and someone has to be crazy enough to point some things out, and I think I qualify. It's clear to most people that if this debate were about providing health care for those who can't get it, we'd be done and health care would be provided. But the government isn't interested in that. This is a much larger plan. The goal is control, and the weapon being used is health care. And the casualties? Us. Freedom. The whole reason America exists in the first place. Now, the government touts the success of Medicare and Medicaid so much that they're aware if their goal was to help only those without health care, they could initiate a plan that was only to include those people. But they have openly admitted this is about fairness, as if two people not being able to afford the same thing is somehow unjust. And if that were truly the case, you better look out, Mercedes and BMW. I mean, is anyone implying that we should all be able to drive any car we choose, regardless of price? Not yet, they aren't. Now, last night was about one thing: power and control, and the government seizing our freedoms at our own expense. A good friend pointed out that if there's ever a time that healthcare becomes a requirement for all, then we are truly no longer free, as we have to pay to be alive. This is serious. This is no joke, and this is certainly not conservative versus liberal. This is we the people versus the government, a government that we pay, a government that was elected by us to serve us. Now, many of us feel like the government does have the power, and so we allow it. It's all we've ever known. Well, there was a time when a group of British colonists realized that all they ever knew wasn't right, and that what they grew up with wasn't right, and that it was not right to live in a community controlled by just a few. That power should not be in the hands of the government, or even in the hands of a fickle public, but that it should be in the hands of law. They knew a republic was the only free way, and that it would be very difficult to maintain, especially when honor was neglected. We failed in America many times, and we will fail again. But never has success been more attainable to anyone than in America. That's why America is the place for people to flee to. You don't see people, including Michael Moore, fleeing the coast of Florida, headed for a better life in Cuba. And how did Obama get here? Did he come because it was so oppressive, or did he come for the free tuition? So what can we do? Well, I don't really know. I don't have the answers, but I am starting nonetheless with what I can do. Now, this week I'll try to post the numbers to every congressperson that voted yes. Let's start by letting them know that the countdown for their termination has begun, and we are serving them with 52 weeks' notice. Get another job and get out of our house. Next, I'll do my best to provide anyone with the info they need to contact their U.S. Senator, and let them know how you feel about the passage of this particular bill. Tell them this bill, or any bill that requires health care for anyone, is unacceptable. And tell them that any bill that includes a government option is unacceptable if it also puts requirements on private companies. You see, it wouldn't be fair for the government to operate a business in direct competition with a privately owned company without playing by the same rules. Tell your senators that the fate of their career rests in their decision regarding the obvious attempts by the government to grab the power away from we the people. And don't let up. Call often and make some noise. And do your best to put aside your feelings as a Republican or Democrat or Independent and at this time choose to be an American. So where's the music in the background, you're wondering? This isn't a joke, and this isn't about poetic ideas of the past. This is more about our future and the future America that we will live in. This can no longer be about government powers, but it must be about we the people.